Welcome to the Afro Anime Initiative, where we cover everything in Afrofuturism from A to Z, and I promise you, one day we are going to find that Z. I am your co-host, Darren Bradley, along with
Paulina Guerriere.
and you gotta let me bring you in. I'm still the lead host of the show, so I know you there. I know you're there. Okay.
Wow.
It's a long pause.
It wasn't a long pause. I was literally saying and you were talking. You didn't even let the and finish.
I'm like, in my head, it was a long pause. Sorry.
Wow.
Go ahead.
That's a great.
Today's topic
intro.
today, everybody, is San Diego Gummy Gun. I hope you heard me over that, but it's San Diego Gummy Gun. This year, due to the thing that shall not be named, because we're trying to make some money off this podcast, it's Comic-Con's at home, and I want to talk about, is that a good thing? Is that a better thing? Because being the old man as I am, I've been to a lot of cons. I like going to cons. I haven't been to San Diego, but I like going to cons. I like the experience. I like being around the people. I like the smell. Don't judge me.
Okay.
And I just like the stuff and meeting the smaller people, like getting away from the big boys. And I don't know if it's better this year with the online stuff, because let me start off like this. I'm a collector again. I was a collector when I was a kid, got away from it, other stuff. I'm back to doing it now. And you would think it would be easier to get the stuff that is online. You can sit in the comfort of your home with a nice cold drink and your internet speeds running well, press a couple of buttons, put in your credit card information, PayPal, and you get your stuff. Heck no. I mean, people have been sitting at home with bots. As soon as those pre-orders go up, they sold out within 2 to 3 minutes. And regular people maybe gotten one, maybe two. And then within hours, them suckers are up on resale sites. Triple, quadruple, and whatever is 6 times the price of what they supposed to be. But at Comic-Con, at least you send your boy there, send your friends there. They can get 2 a piece, maybe 3 a piece, and they'll send it to you, or they'll sell one later and then, use that money to get another thing. You're going to be able to get it eventually. It don't look like that way now. And that's out from my perspective. But also, it's from the panels. Like Comic-Con, I mean, they packed a lot of people into a really small space. So you could have like the big giant Marvel panel at 11 o'clock. 11:05, you might have, a medium-sized panel. People still going to fill it up because they couldn't get into the Marvel panel. Then you might have at 11:10 another even smaller panel going on. People would trickle into that because, it's someplace to go if they can't get to where they want to be. I don't know how that is with the online ones. I haven't even tried to get into a lot of these panels. I'm waiting for people to recap them for me. Because again, comfort of my own home. I can just wait.
That smell you were talking about, what was it?
Say it again.
That smell that you were talking about?
Yeah, I'm curious to know what that smell.
Well, it's called the con. It's a derivative of the con flu. The con flu is the symptoms you exert of being around people who may not have the best hygiene, all confined into a small corner. Now we call that COVID. Oh man, I said the word. But it was a con thing. You knew you was gonna get sick after you came from a convention. Well, people are trying to be better at that now, but that's what it was. And that con smell is a particular smell because here's the thing. Here, I'm gonna tell you about it. You got the sweaty nerds, right? You got sweaty nerds, right? That's what we are. We're sweaty. I'm sweaty. I'm a big dude. I'm in shape, but I'm sweaty. Then you got the little people that go around. You can't see them. They just be around. They just around the floor.
Whatever.
And, I ain't even talking about you. This your voice. Nobody knows your height. Calm down. But they're around, and they might gather things along with them while they're moving around the con. Then you got the cosplayers, and a lot of those cosplayers are extravagant, large, like multiple materials and pieces. After a while, you get a stench walking around them things. The sweat just start dripping out them things, and then you got the people who know they smell. We try to cover it up with the perfume and the Axe spray.
Axe body spray, man.
And it becomes this odor that can only be found where the geeks come to congregate at the Comic-Con.
At any convention, really.
Any convention. Except for the Star Trek
really?
One. Very hygienic. I don't
really?
Yeah. It's a thing. It's about the future. Hey, we hygienic in Gene Roddenberry's future. Even the Klingons was nice. It was good.
That is nice. I should go to
one.
Wow. What?
So yeah, so cons is it's a thing. It's an experience. It's the experience of being around people that you know are a part of what you like. Even when you got a couple of dumb gatekeepers, but everybody picks on them anyway. So actually, you get to be a bully at Comic Con when the gatekeepers are around. But it's different now that everybody's at home. Like you don't get that experience. And like I said, I haven't tried to get any of the panels. I've been mostly trying to get the swag. And like it's actually harder now getting the swag because everybody's at home. And not only are you competing with people who really love something, now you're competing with the bots. You're competing with the stupid programs designed to buy up all the stuff so somebody else could resell it for extraordinary prices the next hour.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Comic-Con at home is better or if it's just something that's temporary that we shouldn't stay on this course. I'm going to stop talking for a second and get your guys' points of view on it.
Since Polly, you've been to Comic-Con. How about you?
Well, okay, not Comic-Con, but I've only been to like one convention once in my lifetime. ACEN here in Chicago, but more Rosemont, but whatever, in the Chicagoland area. And it was something to check off my list, basically. And it was fun.
It's ACEN. Yeah, describe it for the audience. What's ACEN?
Okay, so ACEN is the anime convention, and it's not very easy to describe, but it's just this hodgepodge of just anime geekdom, steampunk type goth stuff. Like it's literally a variety of stuff. It's not, the main theme is anime though, and it's a lot of it is a lot of fun if you're with the right people. Of course, like any convention, like Darren described, there's that smell. Okay, certain pockets have that smell. You know, you get to meet also like other weebs, because you know that's just where we embrace our title, weebs. And it's just, I don't know, it's just anime. It's just different from, I want to say, San Diego Comic-Con, because San Diego Comic-Con is like this huge event that not only outlines geek stuff but also movies. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like more movie stuff, but there's still geek stuff on the floor. And what I really love most about ACEN is that when you are going through like the artist alley and you're going, you know, looking at different merch made by different people, you know, you get to meet so many different, like, just weirdos and geeks who are just as enthusiastic about the thing as you are. And if you're just dressed up in just like this simple, like, outfit that screams convention, somebody would want to take a picture with you. Or, you know, at that year, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Nyan Cat. It's like this Pop-Tart cat that pretty much farted rainbows, and it had its own theme song.
I've seen the meme.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember the very first day of ACEN, my group and I walked through the doors, and we were just looking around how, you know, everybody was still kind of setting up, and most of the stuff was up and running. But then there was, I think, either a banner with Nyan Cat on it, or somebody was just this big costume, and I loved it at the time, and I was obsessed with it. I just screamed, "Oh my god, it's Nyan Cat!" And they just started laughing because I guess they didn't expect that, even though you will see that a lot in a convention like ACEN. So I haven't been to any of the panels. I just liked exploring the floor. Because for me, it was just more action that way, and that's the most
It
is the most fun part. I just didn't like waiting in lines. Besides, side note, y'all, and I know that there's a lot of controversy surrounding this, which I think contributes as to why maybe like at-home conventions or live streaming conventions may not work very well around this time, in this time of age. Back again. Around the same time, maybe a little bit before, I actually met the voice actor Vic Mignogna. He voiced Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and he was pretty well known in the world of voice acting. Well before the Me Too movement, and then accusations and actual accounts of him being gross came up. This was years before. nicest guy on the planet. Actually recorded a birthday message for a friend of mine for me, which was awesome of him. So, you have these panels where you can meet said voice actors. I just went to, like, it was hosted at DePaul, and I just went and, met him there, hosted by an anime club over at DePaul. So I got the experience, and I had a lot of fun, and I do plan on going, not to ASEN per se, but to another convention, maybe C2E2 or San Diego Comic-Con.
Where you can find my C2E2 coverage on our Instagram page. You follow us right now, Afro Anime Initiative.
Yes, go check it out, guys. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, my experience, it's a nice one. I didn't do the after hour stuff because I'm a square, but that's okay because I'm boring. But yeah, I think every convention has its own thing, if that makes sense, and it's fun.
Yeah.
So with this whole, like, streaming a convention at home, it does take away from that fun, being there in person feeling, because it's just not the same. You don't, get to geek out with other people unless you're quarantining with your friends or something like that. Then that's different. Other than that, it's like you're not there in person. You can't really, geek out. And
it has its pros and its cons.
It does. It really does.
I feel like, for like non-goers, like for me, this will be an experience for me to see. Like, okay, I visually see it on TV and see either more corporate place, like when they have the C2E2 here, or other places, and you see how big it is. I feel like if I were to go there, it would be overwhelming the first time. So either like seeing something online and seeing the categories and seeing what's offered or what's showcased or who's going to be there, what kind of panels or discussions are going to take place, and what kind of workshops, that helps me limit my time. I know they're all different, they're all going to have different categories, but it's just an idea of how it should be. So that will help me focus my time. Oh, I'm going to see this today. Oh, I'm going to see that today. I'm going to see that tomorrow. Since they're doing like 7 or 8 at the same slot times, But yeah, I would love to go in person and experience it. But like I said, the first time will be overwhelming if I didn't know how to go. But
that's part of the fun.
It is.
Really?
The overwhelming, yes. Because you'll sit there and see one thing from this, one thing from this, one thing from this, one thing, and he's like, what the crap? Wait.
Yes.
But everybody's happy. Like, but you're the feeling of just happiness. You might get one or two people, being jerks, because that's humanity. But it's an overwhelming feeling of happiness. And when you see the crossover population, you see something from anime that you think nobody else knew. Somebody dressed up like it,
yes.
Oh my god! But then next to Batman, you're like, this is dope. I need a picture.
Exactly.
It is overwhelming, but it's part of the fun. Especially the first time you go, it's part of the fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, like, even if you don't go to any panels, even if you don't want to stand in line and stuff, just constantly walking the floor, you're going to find something new. You're going to find something entertaining. You're going to find somebody cool to talk to. And then, this is the part which always makes me happy. The big name stars, people you can say you've been reading for forever. If it's a slow day, say a Sunday for a con, they will talk to you for hours.
For free.
Wow.
Yes, for free. For free.
Let me ask this. Are the panels worthy?
Depends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because any panel you go to, you choose.
Oh, yeah.
You choose. It's something that you want to go to. It's not nobody's forcing you to go to anything. It's not like a lecture class in school. You pick a panel to go to that you choose, it's going to be worth it.
Absolutely.
It's going to be worth it. Even fighting to get in the line and having to get squeezed in over the capacity for the fire department to tell you it's going to be worth it.
Nice.
So, conventions are fun. They really, really are. Especially if you go with a good group of people that know how to have fun too, then absolutely. Actually...
Well, were you guys...
No,
sorry,
go.
cut you off.
What were you going to ask?
Were you guys able to check out the schedule for the virtual panel?
I did.
Not yet.
Yeah, I looked at it.
I haven't been able to.
Any in mind you want to see?
No, not really. Because that's the thing, like I said, for me, most of my fun is being on the floor. Like if it's like okay, if this was a normal San Diego Comic Con, I'll be trying to sneak into Marvel, but that's about it. Everything else, I can wait to learn about what's going on. I'd rather be on the floor. I'd rather be with the cosplayers. I'd rather be at the side stuff of Comic Con and actually enjoy myself instead of just being in a line.
Okay. So, question: is it always been diverse?
Since movies started going to Comic Con, yes, because people don't understand that Comic Con was going on for decades, and then Twilight showed up one year.
Yeah.
Right, and then when Twilight showed up, and everybody's like, "Wait, it's a bunch of people who like this weird stuff, and they pay money for it." Now everything shows up to Comic Con, and like a lot of people, again, the gatekeepers will be like, "This used to be about comics." I'm like, it still is about comic books because everything that's on that screen, from television, TV, web series, comedians, guess what? They all came from comic books. They all a bunch of geeks. So everything you can find there, you can find it attached to a comic book, attached to a toy, attached to another property it got inspiration from. It still comes down to comic book. It still comes from geek life. Sci-fi.
Well, I'm looking forward to a panel tomorrow. Scholar Reclaiming Indigenous History and Culture Through Comics.
Nice.
And that's at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
I wake up on time for that.
Nice.
I'm setting my alarm for that one. And also our girl, Charlie Sturton, will be having one tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Awesome.
As well. Talking about her transitioning and how she's doing the badass roles that she's doing right now.
I told you, man.
So, this is awesome.
Yeah. And it's things like I said, I think that's the plus for Comic-Con Online for newbies or people who are afraid of I don't want to say afraid, but who are weary of the con experience. I think this is the plus to have this stuff online like this for people.
Yes.
I really
honestly,
think
I will freak out.
Yeah.
But it'd be happy freak out, but I'll still freak out.
I got you. And we ain't got to call the EMTs in the Comic-Con. They got to push through all the Thanoses and the Superman. You ain't got to deal with all that. We ain't got to do all that.
Because from photos, I do see large size of visuals going on all over the place. And honestly, as a small person, yeah, I can't handle all that in one time.
And that's why you go with groups. Like I said, I technically went with 2 groups to C2E2. A group I went with, and then a group I walked around with. So you come, you pack up, you get your tribe together, but you make sure the tribe is an open, friendly tribe, so they talk to everybody. I met so many new people just like bumping into somebody by mistake. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh man, you like that too? You looking at that? Oh, how much is it? And start talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you go with the group.
So what kind of merch is there?
What kind of what? Oh,
merch.
All kinds. Oh man, there's art, primarily art. There's also people who make plushies, people who make comic books, their own independent stuff. People who art, posters. You have clothing. You have not only clothing, not just t-shirts, but actual whole costumes, outfits, intricate stuff. Remember I mentioned steampunk earlier for ASEN? There were actual shops, I still have their business cards. I don't know if they're still in business, but they have actual businesses where they sell corsets for any occasion, but with a steampunk flair. Full-blown layered skirts, hats, accessories, you name it. And sometimes they let you try on their stuff for sizing. And it's really cool. And you get to have the best conversations with the owners or the creators of this stuff. You get to, and the fun thing is buying their merch and seeing them be happy that you bought their stuff, because you're supporting an independent artist. You're not giving your money to a big name that takes over and just buys everything from everybody and just claims ownership over it. Disney. You're supporting the smaller guys, the people who just want to do this for fun and make some money on the side for it and be able to support themselves.
The most fun part, like I said, on the floor is Artist Alley. And Artist Alley is usually directly attached to the merch aisle. So you go from the Artist Alley right to the figures, like she said, the corsets, the costumes, the posters, the comic books, the independent comic books. You will find one of your favorite writers. They could work for Marvel or DC. They'll have a Marvel DC stuff there for the signs. They get the extra little money. And then they own independent stuff that go into their pockets, and they'll talk to you about it. They'll give you a pitch. Like they'll sit there with you. Like it's just something that's you can't
You can't.
replicate
can't.
that
You really
online.
And
Yeah.
it's like the best thing about it is that you get introduced to newer stuff. Like, oh, I didn't even know I was interested in
Yeah.
that. I actually like that idea, or I like that story
Mm.
plot. Let me buy this first volume and first issue and see what it's all about. And you're
Yeah.
into it.
And then get it signed. Get it signed, even though that person may not be
So-
famous or whatever. Get it signed. It's like, cool. Yes, I have it signed by the author and the creator. Thank you so much. Love that.
It's great.
Love that.
And it's just fun because I remember when I was at ASEN, again, I was obsessed with Nyan Cat, and I saw somebody with the Nyan Cat shirt, and I'm like, where did you find that? I have to get that. And they couldn't exactly remember where they got it from, so my friend at the time and myself, we were on a mission on the second day. We were like, okay, here's the plan. You know, we will go here and you will go there. Like, we planned everything out. It took us an hour to just scour the entire place. And so my friend's like, I found it. And we were just being so dramatic about it. We were so dramatic. We didn't care. We found it, and I got my shirt, and I was so happy. And I also, got a whole bunch, I got a bunch of other stuff too. I still have till this day. I just realized that I still have them. I
Nice.
still have the shirt. I got a Full Metal Alchemist shirt. Not too over there too.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God, we
my
gotta talk about
favorite.
Oh,
I
it's
love
great.
it.
Oh, it's great.
I guess we're going to be reshooting that podcast when we talk about 4 minutes, 3 hours. Cool.
But yeah, that's just the fun part about it. It's like you're determined to get something that's super cool thing that somebody has. Like, it's unique. You get really unique merch that you don't see anywhere else
Yeah.
in stores or even online. Just Comic-Con or like convention exclusive stuff only.
Nice.
That's the best part. And it's your money well spent.
So how does the pass work? Do you like a general pass, a day pass?
You could do a 3-day pass, or how long it is, 4-day pass. You could do 1-day passes. Like I said, for me, sometimes I literally wait till the Sunday, which is supposed to be the chill day, and I just walk across the floor.
Just walk.
Just walk.
Because Sunday, they're
Just
pretty
walking.
lax. Plus, everything has a discount. Depending,
Yeah. Oh, the best hours is the 1 hour before closing on a Sunday at any convention. Because they trying to move that stuff because nobody wants to pack all that crap back up again.
No.
And look, while that is happening, people are running around giving you free stuff that they don't want to have to pack up again. Oh, did you get this? Oh, no, see, you got a bag. Is this in the bag? They just throw it in the bag and walk away like, okay.
Yep. And
Thank you very much. I'll recycle this later.
And you leave with more stuff than you came in with. Yep.
Every time. And like I said, and if it's a good day, you got a nice size bag, it's gonna be a lot of free stuff and discounted stuff.
Yep.
Definitely
that's
something
another-
to check out.
Yeah, that's another thing you can't get with the online stuff. Ain't nothing free. And a few free things that's happening, you still gotta wait for it to get shipped to you. It's like, why, fam? Why are you doing this to me? Like, why? Even though I know, was it McFarlane? I can't remember which one it was. People did give away some free posters, some digital posters, computer back down, desktop stuff. But I thought that was cool. But it's not the same as having that in your hand, walking around with it, trying to make sure it doesn't get bumped exactly, and then make sure you trying to take it home and don't get messed up, so you can open up and be like, yes,
Absolutely.
I got this for free.
Yep.
Again, photos you can find from C2E2 this past year on our Instagram and Afro Anime Initiative. So it's cool things like that.
Definitely an experience to have.
But that was, I remember when we were talking pre-podcast, that was a negative you wanted to bring up, though. Maybe that online may not be the best for.
Yeah, they canceled the black panel, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. And that's the thing at cons. At cons, a panel could have 10 people in that room, even though the room is scheduled for 100. As long as it's 10 people in that room, that panel is happening. The people up there, their room is paid for. They're going to talk to you. They're going to go for the hour that they scheduled for. And I think that's a benefit of being in person, because as a person, you're showing your physicality. I'm going to be here for this. I don't care if nobody else showed up. I'm here, so it's going to happen. Can't do it online. They say, oh, well, even though they have like 12 hours to tomorrow morning, I can't tell time, don't worry about it. Until tomorrow morning for the actual panel to start, people could sign up tomorrow morning, but if you cancel it now, well, what they signing up for? They're like, oh, I might as well sign up for something else.
Sure,
And I think that's
go ahead.
I think that's the bad thing about the online, because they want to have the numbers. I want the numbers right now. But what if you're not going to get it? What if people are waiting to do something? What if people are trying to, they got to work. They got to wait till they get to work they can do to sneak to put it on their phone or something.
Because my thing, like the panels that I'm looking at, each like varies from 300 attendees to 2 to 3,000 attendees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right.
When I click on the one that was canceled, you're not really giving me information. Are the panelists the one that canceled it, or you're not having enough registration? Like, what's the issue here?
Exactly. Because especially at Comic-Con, like you can have like for the big stuff like Marvel, DC, Universal registration, you got to get in line and get a badge. You might get a badge, you still might not get in. But if you can't get into the big ones, you can always move to the smaller ones. They're inviting, like, hey, it's only 20 people in here. We got a room for 100. Hey, who outside? Come inside real quick. Let's just talk about this. And you will, because it's something to do.
This actually has 773 attendees.
And they canceled it.
What were they looking for?
Yeah, see,
how many did they need? Huh.
It doesn't matter. You have 773 people signing up to be
that want to listen to those people. That if that was the actual physical Comic-Con, that number would have been fantastic.
Wonderful.
Like, representation matters and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. That's definitely a drawback of online Comic-Con is who has control of what and who can shut what down.
You know, another con for having online conventions or live streaming conventions is recently I've noticed in the past year there's been a lot of terrible behavior on behalf of different cons, not only Comic-Con, but different types of cons that have come to light, such as representation, who's invited to certain panels about certain conversations and who's not, how artists are being treated, how Artist Alley is being set up in certain cons, how staff handles capacity, and I'm not talking about just the normal convention issues. I'm talking about, like, for instance, I think there was a black cosplayer, who pointed out that for this panel in one convention, talking about inclusion and diversity, there was like all white panelists. And they were trying to be silenced by the convention that was hosting this panel. And a lot of people, of course, came out in support of the black cosplayer, and it was a huge, it was a big issue. So another negative is I feel like because people are realizing just how conventions are actually treating certain people who are a big part of the con scene, will attendance be different? Not just for Comic-Con, but for other cons, for anime cons, for, smaller Star Wars or Star Trek cons, or, local stuff. And, how will artists be able to display their artwork through a convention that won't even treat them correctly? That's another thing. Like, will that be magnified now that everybody's at home, technically?
I think it's already being magnified, because that's another drawback of Comic-Con at home. If you're Marvel, DC, we got our own infrastructure. We got our own tech support. Why I need to go to y'all for anything? And that's why they're not at Comic-Con this year. And I think what this is going to do is show a lot of people that, hey, it's cool to go to Comic-Con. It's cool to meet people in person, but get your online life together, because that's where you're going to make your money. And this is showing them like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Comic-Con, because I've heard, especially yesterday, because it started Wednesday. We're recording this on Thursday, that a lot of people was dropping mad links inside those chat room boxes and had to be blocked and stuff. So they're like, nah, F this, come go to my art page, come to my blog page, come follow me here. And I think, you know what? Yes, do that, because that's what you've been doing at Comic-Con anyway. That's what you would have been doing anyway.
Interesting.
No, that needs to be highlighted, that these things, even though they are important, they shouldn't be the backbone of everything you do. You should have your website in order. You should have them business cards at the ready. You should have backup in case you run out of business cards, which again, we have that on our Instagram page. I had to take a photo of one of this really dope artists. I had to take a photo of her card because she ran out of cards, but she had one left taped to the thing. Just take a picture, please. I'm like, thank you. That's very smart. Took a picture. I still got it. It's on the page. Like you just this is gonna bring that out, and it's gonna bring out like again a lot of harassment. I know there have been cosplayers talking about, yes, do I miss going to conventions? Yes. Do I miss my butt being touched without permission? No. That's been trending a lot on Twitter during this time with because this is mid convention season. Comic-Con is not the beginning of convention season. We're in the middle of convention season when Comic-Con turns around. Like a lot of other cons would have happened if it wasn't for the thing that should not be named. You know, a lot of stuff will be going on right now leading up to this and stuff coming after this. There's the cons that should be coming up 2 weeks from now. You know, so a lot of stuff is being highlighted and it hopefully is being paid attention to. Really hope it is.
So is The Walking Dead still a thing?
I don't even remember that it exists.
Because the comic book ended abruptly and awesomely. No, I haven't watched a TV show literally in years, and I haven't played any of their video games in years. So I don't know. I can't tell you. I know they got enough fans to make money to keep going. That's what I know.
Gotcha. Because I'm actually seeing a lot of virtual things for it.
See, and that goes to what I was saying. Who then gets control what panels actually get the space and who shouldn't? Yeah. Because I don't know how big Walking Dead should be to have more than like 2 panels. I don't know. That's me personally.
And it's literally like different days. So I'm like, this is interesting.
Like I said, I know there's a rabid fan base. I used to be a part of it for the comic books, but I don't know. I really don't.
I'm going to point this out too. Another panel that was canceled is concept artist of television and film. # drawing while black.
Come on.
Okay.
Canceled.
Really?
Okay.
And that has 384 attendees.
Okay. Yeah. If that was in person, that 300 would be a blessing. That would be a blessing for to have 300 people in person. That's a blessing. Wow. All right. Yeah. So there it is. Again, online, the biggest con is who gets control of what, who gets to cancel what. And that's something that needs to be addressed in our space. Wow. Yeah, that needs to be addressed in our space. What are we doing for ourselves? Are we building up an infrastructure where we can do something like this on our own for Black and brown conventions? And yeah.
Wow.
That's just disappointing.
If that's in person, that 300 is a blessing. That's a blessing.
Like you said, that 700 would have been amazing too.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so F this Comic-Con at home stuff. All right. That's all right. Cool. Yeah. And now it makes me wonder, well, I know it's going to be fine because you won't, I don't think you're going to have any issue with Marvel or DC when they do their virtual stuff. They're not going to be canceling anything. They're like, no, everything's here. Please come. Give us money. And it's weird that San Diego Comic-Con would cancel anything that has those type of numbers because on the business side, they're not in the best position to be doing anything right now, to stop anybody from seeing their name and participating on their site and bringing them views.
Wasn't there a year when like so many of the big names canceled their appearances at Comic-Con? Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
So it's like,
yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah,
right. So I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, what's the business plan behind it?
That is a topic for right now. And that's another thing that Comic-Con at home is probably going to point out to the people who run conventions, not just Comic-Con, but around the world, that the con convention, the way it is now, is not sustainable. If you don't have something that's singular and has a generational fan base, Star Wars, Star Trek, generational fan base. You can't survive off of certain things. You have to be more inclusive. You got to bring in television, TV, and stuff, but you can't let that overshadow the small pockets that hold you up. Because as I mentioned before, you'll have people be like, "Why is television and movie here? It's supposed to be about comic books and this and this and this," but not understanding that stuff brings people back to comic books. The television and movies get their ideas from the comic books. So if you got something that you saw that was cool on, say, ABC, but then you find the original book and realize how much better it was, that still brings it into that author. That author gets to live for another day. A lot of conventions trying to follow Comic-Con only focused on the movie, that $1 billion movie. We got to make sure we get some movie stuff here, and started to push aside the regular things that held them up for decades. And San Diego was faltering because of that.
But people didn't see that though.
That's
because
what
it's so big.
Because they just saw the people.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like San Diego, people don't understand that convention hall is actually small. That convention hall is small. It's near McCormick Place.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty tiny.
And yet
I just realized that,
so they packed it in. And because of the activities around San Diego, like the whole city stops for Comic-Con. Like, I believe the mayor said they made 60% of maybe 70% of their budget off of Comic-Con in 4 days, 5 days. Because you get a preview day. A preview day is when the industry come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all that.
This is actually insane.
And it's just not sustainable when you honestly aren't expanding to make sure it's inclusive for everybody. That everybody has a safe space and a space to breathe. If you're only pushing in, gotta get the movie, gotta get Marvel, gotta get Disney, gotta get Warner Brothers, gotta get DC.
I remember there was a conversation about that too. How like it got to the point where it was just movies, and artists were complaining about that. You know, it's like that takes away, like, what is it, artists and not just Artist Alley, but comic book creators and stuff like that. It's like smaller people, quote unquote. You know, I remember there was a conversation about that. I don't know if it was on Twitter or anything, but there was a conversation about that, like how it was just such a problem. It's phasing everybody else out, pushing everybody else to the side from spots they've occupied for decades. For movies? Really? And half of these movies aren't even creative anymore. What's the point?
Yeah, the movie stole it from them damn artists.
For nothing, for next to nothing, really. So it's like, you're right, it's absolutely unsustainable, and it's something's going to give. There's going to be some crashing and burning. That's what I think.
No, but I think this is it. This is it right now. Because right now, a lot of people other than San Diego and a couple of the bigger ones don't have the infrastructure to post anything online like this, and on multiple days and it's around the world all at one time. Like, a lot of people don't have this. This is, I think, that shock to the system to be like, okay, we have to go back to a strong foundation. Everything else is extra on top, because the strong foundation can keep you afloat. The extra stuff just gives you more clout, I should say.
Yeah.
But you can't throw away your artists. You can't throw away your comic books. You can't even throw away your games, like card games. Like, people don't understand, like, yo, we do Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments at Comic-Con. You ain't doing that enough stuff no more. Ain't no room. But then you have entire card games throwing their own conventions. Yeah, you hear about D&D and Magic the Gathering, but there are other card games throwing their own conventions too. And they're perfectly sustainable. They're not trying to be big. They're not trying to be international, like Comic-Con changed its name to, it was San Diego International Comic-Con, and stuff is always funny to me. They just want to be them, but they're sustainable, and they still make a profit every year.
Yeah. How long do you think this is going to keep going on?
Are
people going to keep attending?
If people get smart, yes, because that's the same thing. Like, not just Comic-Con conventions or anime conventions. All conventions have to deal with this issue.
Yeah.
Because unless it's a singular generational property, you have to always add something new. Because, like I said, any anime expo, except for Anime Expo, has extra stuff there. It's not just anime. Only Anime Expo is only anime, and even still, they got extra stuff in there.
A lot of good information, guys.
Like I said, I think it's a wake up call. I think, I almost said the thing again. I think this current state of times is a wake up call for a lot of things. And this is just one of them. Like, geeks have to understand, like, this is still a business. And for you to geek your geeky stuff, you got to understand the business side. And a lot of this business side is mad shady to the stuff that you feel is important. Because there's no way, right? There's no way with the numbers you just said that those panels would have been canceled if it was in person. They would not have been canceled. They might have been moved to another room. There's no way
they would be canceled.
But they would have took place.
But that's the thing too. It doesn't even say it's going to be rescheduled. They're just canceled.
No, it's cool. It's canceled. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's canceled.
But I'm going down the list, like you said. Who decides what to do? Who decides what shows or what events to happen on that day? And I'm looking down the list. There's a lot of them that shouldn't be there. But then even you're looking at the number of attendees compared to the one that were canceled, and I'm like, those should have been canceled instead of these.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing that got to be addressed. Yeah.
Wow.
But overall, convention season is usually incredibly fun. Sometimes stressful, especially if you want to cosplay. But also, make sure you got that money because you're gonna want to buy something. You just are. And it's nothing wrong with that because that's the point. You want to support your industry. You should support what you love, like support Black businesses, support Black artists. I love going to it might not be designated the Black section of Artist Alley, but the Black artists, they seem to always find their tables next to each other, and I really do enjoy that. It makes it easy. It does.
Awesome. When you think the next one will be in open space? Possibly.
Ooh, that's an incredibly good question because you have things like Ren Fair. Those are just open space, period. That's what Ren Fairs are. But I don't know if you could sit a whole bunch of books outside and not be worried about them getting messed up.
Well, I mean, we consider the weather. They could have tents outside.
Yeah, but books can still get messed up. And then you out there trying to sell posters, you got to make sure all them suckers is down and secured.
I mean, just having like a one big fair outside.
And see, that's the thing because you can do an artist fair. Because I was finna correct myself. People do artist fairs all the time, but it's that extra addedness of safe space.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there might be gatekeepers at Comic-Con, but it's still a safe space. Even though that fool might be trying to gatekeep, we still know he might be a geek. And it's not that you don't want outside people in. I don't even like saying the word outside because, again, people who watch only Marvel movies, please come spend your money on the Marvel movies because that means Marvel will keep making comic books so they can make stiller stories and put them in the movies.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to come spend their money. But again, when you go to these places, you want to feel like you're with your people. That you're with your people. And I don't know how you can do that with an open space Comic-Con. And I know there's probably some out there I've never heard of. People, please tell me in the comments below. Let me know if you know about any open space comic book conventions, like just geek conventions, period. Because I actually would like to experience that, see how that feels.
I think if they were to do it, it would not be as big. Yeah. It might be a local one.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be more controllable, more doable in a way.
Mm-hmm. I'll travel. Yeah. I'll travel. I'll go to a small town. Y'all doing some cool stuff like that. Y'all got some comic books I want to buy I never seen. I'll do that.
But I like the idea of it.
Yeah, it's good ideas.
Since we're talking about the smell.
Right, especially during these trying times.
Yes. I'd rather be with
that might work.
My mask on outside.
6 feet. 6
apart.
Can't do 6 feet at a Comic-Con. You can't do that. Not
that
possible.
would be hard, limiting how many people can enter at a time.
Yeah. And then spacing out inside the room for the panels. Ooh.
The pleasure of it is taken away.
It's gone because it's gone. It'd be taken up by all the journalists. Actual just regular people that want to come in and talk to their favorite actor or creator that's never getting in. It'd be all the room be taken up by journalists. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. That outdoor thing sounds like that sounds like something. Yeah. But yeah. So pros and cons to everything. I just it's it's just disheartening to hear about those panels being canceled with such good numbers. Like I said, there's pre-registration. Pre-registration. Let's be honest. You go to Comic-Con, you really ain't trying to pre-register. You're just gonna stand in line for 12 hours and see what happens.
True. And my thing's like, even if you didn't register, you could catch it on the YouTube page or the link. You click on it and watch it.
If it's free, what if I forgot, or what if I was just like, oh, I gotta do this something? Oh no, my time is free. Let me just click in and join it. Like, why would you take that away? It's free. It's online.
And it's not every day that you see your number or someone like you represented in something that you love.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you have any more questions, I think we can wrap this up. Polly?
No, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, you guys said it all, and I'm just looking over the schedule and seeing how it's gonna.
You see the redundant stuff.
The only now it's because that the ones. So since they canceled the black panels with the black people in it, there isn't much that I'm interested in, to be honest. Except there is one I think it's hosted by Viz, a haunting conversation with Junji Ito. And side note, y'all, this will be probably a separate post or podcast that I'll get into, but he is hands down one of my absolute favorite horror author manga writers, period. Because he focuses on cosmic horror, and I absolutely love his work. Like, the drawings are creepy, the stories are just insane. So I think it's tomorrow at 4 p.m. that's gonna be, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, tomorrow at 4 p.m. So I'll probably just attend that. I think there are about 854 attendees. So I just have to.
I'm noticing they're trying to push HBO
Yes,
Max.
there are a lot of those, especially with Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm like, no.
Like, literally at every hour, there's something either for AMC or HBO Max. It's like, wow.
Not a lot of movies at Comic-Con this year. Like I said, the big two pulled out, so not a lot of big comic books that catch your eye this year
there's
either.
actually one, I think.
That's probably why. Hold on. That's probably why Walking Dead got so much stuff. Never mind. It makes sense now.
I'm just meh. Walking Dead, whatever. No, there was a panel though about Marvel and the next big steps or something like that for tomorrow sometime. Tomorrow? I don't remember what time though. But yeah, it's primarily HBO Max and Cartoon Network and what else? There was an Avatar I think there's an Avatar The Last Airbender panel as well. But I'm not really paying all that much attention. It's just boring.
I regret not seeing the panels for today. There were a lot of good ones. But I'll definitely go on YouTube and check them out.
Because I was at work. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really wasn't interested in any panels. Like I said, that's not really my thing anyway. And any panels I am interested in, I catch them later with recaps.
Yeah, if I don't fall asleep.
Well, my thing is, like, I just want to see how a panel is done at Comic-Con. Even though it won't be the actual thing because it's not in real, but some of them are asking people to submit their questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I just want to get an idea of it. That's why I'm like checking them out right now. Future references,
And then if you want to see, excuse me, if you want to see just how they work and how the attendance, how the rooms look, there are tons of video from last year online right now, still up. Tons.
Well.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that about wraps it all up. Pete, go ahead. What you gonna say?
Pretty much say the same thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, it is
nice.
Wrapping up everything, and our lovely listeners, if you guys have any panels that you're interested in and you want to talk about, let us know in the comments below. in the comments on our Instagram or on Twitter or Facebook. We have those.
Where can you find us on all
Yeah.
those places, P?
Well, you can find these places. Okay. Give me a moment. So there is the Instagram, which is Afroanime Initiative, just it's one whole long thing, and there is the Twitter, which is Afro_AI, right? Yes.
Yep.
That's our Twitter. Now our Facebook is, I believe that's the same thing as our Instagram, just one long word, Afroanime Initiative. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So those are the 3 major places that you will find us being active and posting whenever, whatever, about geek stuff and definitely Comic-Con stuff. Not like I mentioned, the Junji Ito panel. I'm gonna see if I can be able to hop on it and just watch, because that's honestly the only thing that really caught my interest. So yeah, and I might talk about it if I can. Like I said, if I can watch it. And yeah, so guys, keep an eye out and just enjoy the weekend, enjoy Comic-Con. Watch what you can, talk about what you can. We'll be sharing what you guys talk about. Thanks for listening.
All right, Marvin, any last words from you?
I'm excited to check out the virtual stuff. I'm definitely gonna put some in the comments. Would love to read some comments too. Everybody with their interest and if they want to check anything out, that'd be awesome. And as usual, don't forget to like and follow and subscribe.
Awesome. And as for me, send me all your swag. Just send me. And if you don't think you can find me, don't worry, I'll find you. Just have it ready. All right, I'll pick it up outside the house. All right, you guys enjoy your nights. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.